don't want to work. That's how I function. I don't do it because you want me to. I do it because I want to do it. No. But
Okay,
hey
well,
now, DJ Comfy.
DJ Comfy is back again. Maybe that's where we should start. Welcome John back.
Yes, John.
I didn't have any music cue.
What is going on, man?
Yes.
You were
What's
out
new?
forever.
Mm-hmm.
You just
What
got
changed in
COVID.
your life?
Well,
About to go into a whole song.
this is the theme music of my days all day. Because I have another kid. That's all y'all
Ah,
need. That's all y'all need. That's all y'all need. But yeah, I got a new kid, got a new Bambino. Uh,
yay!
brought the boy home. So yeah, just watching him grow and eat.
How's he
Oh,
settling in?
Doing real good, man. His job is real easy. It's just making sure he does everything he did the day before. Sleep and eat. You know, they make breast milk look so delicious.
So this is your third go round with this. What's changed this time? You're older, you're wiser. What changes are you gonna make for this one?
um, so I guess the short answer is I don't know. Like I still have a lot more room to go. Um, originally, I don't have as much. Like bringing a baby, once the baby's here, you're not as unsure as you were the first time you brought a baby home, or even the second time you brought a baby home. The third baby, you know, like baseline baby stuff. Has to eat, has to have a diaper, has to sleep. What cries mean? You're not a horrible parent if you decide to like take a break, you know, and hand them off to somebody. All those things are like legitimately healthy qualities in a parent versus like the first one. It's like the most precious diamond gem you've ever had in your life. If anyone looks at it, it's the wrong, you're going to give the wrong mojo. If they bump their head, you feel like the worst parent of all time. All that should go away after like baby number two. You're like, you're gonna bump your head, you're gonna hurt yourself, you're gonna get sick, someone's gonna hurt your feelings. You know, I'm gonna tell you to leave me alone. you know, so yeah, I think it's just a lot more comfort as far as like what to do in the early stages. Yeah, but I mean, it's still a struggle. Like I always think, like I don't want to lose myself. I'm pretty big on being like an individual and still being a parent, and those two things are different. Some people like to be an individual who's also who can't be anything but a parent, right? And I think that's hard for me. I can't just be dad all day, every day. That's my only job. That's the only job I want to do. I think my kids suffer from it. If that's all I know, that's all I talk about is. But yeah, hope that answers your question, man. Just more open.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that last point too, man. Like I think you have to maintain some semblance of your individual identity separate from your child. Some people, their identity is wrapped up in nurturing, and that's fine. But I still think you need to know that that is you, and these are the kids, right? Like you can nurture your kids, you can nurture your dog, nurture your garden. Like if that's who you are, you need someone to take care of. Just recognize that and keep that in mind as your kids grow and leave you.
hey
For real.
now, listen, yeah,
Everything.
because I was just about to start talking about because one day they will leave you, and then you have to figure out, wow, who am I?
Who
And
am
and I thought that, and I think I still do a pretty good job of getting my own identity, having my own thing that I do. I always want my kids to see me do something I enjoy doing, something I'm proud of, something they can look at and say I should, enjoy my interest and be my own person too. And like I said, I thought I had it all figured out, and we were a house of three, and when we lost a member, like I felt that. I felt, hey, you know what? And then it started making me think, wow, well, when I lose two members and it's just me, how am I going to conduct myself? What am I going to get into? What other thing? Because I really thought that I'd done a good job, but I still am affected by losing that parental that role for that one particular kid who told me in no uncertain terms he told me about something and I was like, hey, you need to do this and this. He goes, ha, I'm an adult. And I was like,
now, can I borrow some money, Mama? Because I need to eat.
wow. But I was like, you know what? Yeah, you're right. I can't expect you to conduct yourself like you're not. So let me just rephrase what I just said. Let me give it to you in the
adult way.
Yeah.
Thank you for telling me.
Sounds like you did a good job. You raised him to
to
be independent and figure out how to solve problems rather than come to you for everything. So that's
there
good.
You go.
And isn't that the goal? Like,
yes,
I think about that a lot. Like when I have a child, the goal to me is much more simple when I make it. How do I make sure this individual becomes independent and reliant upon their own judgment and want to create more value for the world than what was there before they left?
Yeah.
Those two things are primarily our goal as parents. When we do what we do a bad job of, I think collectively in this country, from my experience, is we wrap our identities into their attributes and what we think they should be doing, their behaviors. And it's because it's so hard to like untangle yourself from being so hands-on from the early stages to then letting them go into this crazy chaotic world where they're going to find their way in shaping it, right? But I remember this one dude told me years ago when I was about to have my first kid, he was like, man, I'm gonna give you some advice, man. I don't like giving anybody advice, but this is the best advice I ever had. Don't do anything for your kid they can do themselves. And to that day, like to this day, like as soon as my infant child can do one thing that I know he can do his own, I'm like, do it. I'm not doing it for you. I don't care if you make me feel like I'm a bad guy, I'm an asshole. You will love me for it when you learn how to do more for yourself than relying on me. Because if you're relying on me, you're relying on me and my emotional state, what I think is best for you. And then at a certain age, you need to start figuring out your own individuality. And if you can be independent, that journey is it's a lot more, I guess, rewarding. So it's not easy, right? Like it's still hard to care about them. Your job is also to keep them alive day in and day out. But when I boil it down to that, man, it makes it a lot more simple.
My wife has been looking more into like Montessori stuff. How do you guys feel about that? She showed me these videos of like these kids who have their own little kitchen set, like with running water and stuff. Running water. It's real water, but they have it set up in a way. And the kids will go and they'll get like a cutting board and like get veggies and like have this little type of cutting knife they can use and cut their own veggies and go get a skillet and step up to the stove and cook an egg. And they're like 3 or something.
Practical knowledge. Yeah. Yeah. My daughter
I like it.
Goes to like one of those
type of
schools. My kids. Yeah, the school she's in is a very Montessori style, and they also have gymnastics. That their gym is gymnastics. If that's what you want them to do, they'll pull them out of class, take them into a gymnastics training where they're learning the application of what they're learning. And I just feel like that's, for some kids, a better way to educate. It's like apprenticeships versus sit down and let me tell you how to memorize everything in all these books that you're not going to memorize and ever use. And then I'm going to make you feel like shit if you don't remember all of them, right? Like, that's insane. Whereas there were kids who were smart enough to learn how to solve problems and put things together, right? Like that's way more applicable to me than how many words in the dictionary can you remember, right? Like, who cares?
We cut to a house in the suburbs. Man ups and door.
Hey, what's going on?
Oh hey, I'm here to stay. You may be maybe your kids Airbnb Montessori. Just here for a couple nights, both couple nights to stay here. So can I come in?
You met my kids at the Montessori school, and you
No, your kid's running a business. It's an Airbnb Montessori. It's like an Airbnb, but you know, it's for kids. Yeah, so they can learn how to run a functioning business. Yeah.
Well, I did share with my kids about investing protocols and like how to build wealth. Just do you have this website that I can see? I didn't know they built the whole website and everything. Is this
Yeah,
something
it's a pretty big website. Yeah, yeah. Here it is on my phone. Yeah.
and you paid for the service, so you're
I
supposed
did. I did. Yeah. It's
are they renting their room out? Is that what you're telling me? My kids are renting their own room?
It's not a whole room. It's a corner of your living room. There's a stove. There's some toys and different things. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited.
Well, I don't see any children, sir. I mean, are you going to be playing with the toys and stuff yourself?
Yeah, I'm trying to get my kids interested in this, but they're not really biting. So I want to come in here, take some pictures, post it on my social media, so they can see what a good time I'm having, or what a great time other people have, and hopefully that'll get them interested.
All right. Can you wait right here, sir? I need to have a conversation with my kids before. I mean, this is a kind of big step, right? I talked to them about banking and investing, and now you're telling me they have a whole website with adults and stuff. So
Yeah.
let me just see what they're doing right now. Give me a second.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Great. Yeah.
Wait down here. Kids, where the hell y'all at, man?
Antoine, bring the spreadsheets. Hold on, Dad.
Okay, let me pull them up on the tablet.
Okay.
Look at y'all. Look at y'all. I mean, education is doing. Y'all got the iPads and the spreadsheet. What's going on? Why is this grown ass man outside my house trying to saying he renting pieces of my living room? What the hell are y'all doing?
Yeah, we were running a special this week because the holidays are coming up, so we wanted to make sure that we really captured people early. So we ran a special this week, and he was one of the first people who bought. So is it Clive? Is that who's at the door? That's who we have on our registrar.
Yeah,
it's a young Clive. It's a guy named Clive. Let me ask you this.
Now, I know what you're going to say. Did you check his credit? Of course we checked his credit.
Of course we checked his credit.
We issue all the top tier payment security strategies, okay? We've checked his credit to make sure that he doesn't have falsified credit. We also accept cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum. Yeah. We don't accept Dogecoin because we don't believe in that, right?
Don't believe in that. No, of course not. That thing can go down in a second. We can show you more spreadsheets if you want.
I don't need any more spreadsheets. I'm feeling a lot of conflicting feelings right now. One, I am completely proud at the ingenuity and entrepreneurship I'm seeing in you, in my children. I always wanted to build generational wealth and keep that in the house. The problem is you guys are 6 years old, and I just feel like you guys are going way too deep into this world where there's a lot of legalities and banking. And I mean, I put you in the school to learn how to be good individuals, right? But are you sure you want to get into these capitalistic endeavors at 6 years old? I mean, can this just be like an idea that you just present in school? You don't have to go through the full thing in my house, man. That you didn't even invite. This is my house. This is my piece of capital that you're auctioning off, right? Like, what's going on? Like, I just think that's too far, kids. Why don't y'all go back and drink some Yoo-hoos or something?
Oh, Dad. When you signed us up for the Montessori program, I know you thought that it was just going to give us some advantage in developing ourselves, but didn't you think that they would come to an end where we would begin to rely on ourselves and believe in our own ability to solve problems, to create new new ideas, to perhaps even, start a business like we've done. I mean, Montessori is not just play dad; it's play for a purpose. Yeah.
Exactly. And also, some tactics, they're not always above board. Yeah, maybe we sold a little bit more than we had. Maybe we needed more leverage. We figured we'd ask for forgiveness instead of permission on this one. Isn't that something that I've heard you say?
Yeah.
It is definitely one of the critical principles I've taught you guys. Listen, I'm so proud. I mean, when y'all went to that school, y'all weren't even sitting down and eating food at the table. Y'all still wearing pull-ups. Now you guys are running. Let me just get out of y'all way. Let me just see.
Yeah, right. Because we got Clive just standing at
Clive is out here. Let me just ask you.
Once we get Clive settled,
how much is he paying for this square footage of the living room? Can you just give me a little bit of that? What is Clive putting up?
Well, let's see. There's a couple of things. A few boxes of fruit snacks.
Yeah, and
go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead. I think you have it.
I was just going to mention the full-size Butterfingers as well.
Yeah.
It seems like you and Mom weren't quite as approachable about buying more candy, which we felt we deserved. So we decided to come up with a revenue stream to get our own.
So you guys had the option to take crypto as Bitcoin and Ethereum, and you chose Butterfingers?
Yeah. And fruit snacks. Don't forget about
fruit snacks. So you have to support multiple types of currencies in order to attract the clientele that is willing to barter on something like Butterfingers and fruit snacks.
Usually I would be completely against your methods of transaction, but I'm going to go ahead and let this work because that is a goddamn incredible way to solve a problem. We told you we weren't buying any candy. You turn a business into a candy generating machine. God damn it, this Montessori school is working. Go ahead. God damn. That's what I be teaching Sarah, my kids. Like anytime Phoenix says something, she's like, if it's a problem, I try to give her an alternative that makes her find a way to get what she wants out of it, even if it's like something like that. Like, oh, well, we're not giving you candy, but you can go knocking on doors and go sell stuff. And if they give you money, I will take you to go buy your own candy, right? At a young age, that's nothing to ask. All I gotta do is just go take some M&Ms and say, hey, do you want to buy them? But if you go and ask like a teenager that or an adult, they'll look at you like you're crazy, by helping them solve their own problems. So I wish my kids would come to me and go, Dad, you didn't want to buy us a car. So we went out and, created a business and they trade cars in for our advice. I'd be like, okay. Touche, right?
Get paid in cars.
Just don't park them on my damn driveway unless it's a car I get to drive.
It's like that old story. I think it was Craigslist or eBay, but like the dude turned a paperclip into a house. You remember that?
He traded.
He just kept trading up. Yeah, trading up and up and up. Until
I got a paperclip. Watch me work. 10 years later, he's like Fortune 500 CEO. Yeah, that's insane, man.
Yeah.
I've never been a salesman. That's one thing it's not something I couldn't do. There's a John in me that would be like, hi, how you doing? Let me tell you about some of the opportunities we have with you. Blah, blah, blah. Go eat a dick. But I've never really respected it, right? Like it's such in my case, right, the salesman piece is, it's like, I know what you're trying to get from me. You're just trying to find your angle to get the dollars from me to you. And that's a part of it that I never really liked internally. So I've never really could commit to being a salesman because in no way did I see it as like that. I kind of look at it as like, if I'm in a club with a woman and, we're all single, every interaction, a dude, like in my head, right? This is me, John, in my used to go to the club moment, mine. anytime I would go to a woman in the club, I would feel like she's thinking I'm trying to get her number. Because why else would I be coming to a strange woman in the club who's dressed to draw attention from me with what she got on, right? Like I don't. That's kind of how I feel about sales, right? Where I would rather approach how a woman's outside of that context to where it could be more fluid. I would want my sales experience to be more fluid, where it's not, you know, just straight on sales. So it's hard for me to like grapple with that, but I still push my kids because it's like if people who know how to do that, people who could flip a paper clip to a house, man, you got to be a pretty good damn salesman. Whereas me, like one thing I'm focusing on is deal making. I'm like, I can't sell shit,
Mm-hmm.
but I can make a deal. I can figure out what it is that we both want and develop something we can both get. And that's like the way I look at things and how I'm trying to, I guess, leverage what I don't like, which is selling shit. Like I would be a horrible like devil trying to sell someone, like get your soul. You trying to sell me your soul? I could do a deal, but I would be a horrible salesman. Like, why you should sell your soul? Come on, man. Like, let's not talk about why, right? Let's talk about something else. Do you want or do you not? Shit will get off the pot.
The
Right?
devil is probably a bad salesman. I don't think he can get a soul from someone who's not in dire straits, right? Like he only approaches the people who are vulnerable and have no
That's
other
right.
options. Like that's predatory, is what it is. No offense,
Definitely
Tandi.
predatory. Definitely predatory. I mean, yeah, he definitely has a type that he goes after. Right? There's definitely what you call a market of people that sell their souls. Like, let me see, musicians, struggling, whoever, right? But yeah, and I remember Sinbad, right? Like not to get off on a tangent. One of my favorite Sinbad jokes, and I'm not going to butcher it, but he has a bit where he talks about why he never got into drugs. And he said it's because he never believed in the value prop. Like when they come to you, if I'm trying to sell you on meth and crack, there's tons of advertisement of what happens to people who are on it. You don't see a crack commercial of a guy who did Michael Jordan stuff or Michael Jackson stuff or Muhammad Ali kind of stuff, right? The advertisement is pretty clear. Like you think this is the greatest thing on earth until you look up and you're way down in the hole and then with no self-respect. Why would I like how could I get over that hump, right? Like either one, drugs have to be that damn good, which I believe they are, because otherwise there is no marketing to get somebody to
There's
do crack.
no.
Like, there is no marketing that can be like, John, have you ever considered crack? And then you
No
watch this commercial, and a guy playing basketball,
No.
and he's like, I used to be depressed. Now I'm on crack. Take crack Zertia or
I
whatever,
see.
whatever, right? Like there's no advertisement. So they're technically bad salesmen. You're not selling anything. The drug is the sale, right?
Yeah.
It's the feeling you get from the thing. Of course, it makes sense, but to the devil analogy, some stuff you don't even need to be a good salesman. People are just gonna go looking for it.
Yeah. That's the kind of sale. But are you a salesperson or do you just work there then at that point? Because
Yeah.
you're just exchanging money for the product. You don't have to. Because I was thinking like that's the kind of sales I want to do. I don't have to convince you that it's great. You already know. I just had a product. You come get it. Now I'm not a salesman. I just take your money in exchange for the thing. I don't work to sell it. So
Yeah.
is sales just the exchange, the person who's exchanging the money for the thing, or you're like giving the whole story, getting you into it, and now changing your mind? Like that's the art, right? And I don't
I'm not
necessarily
into
respect
that.
the art. I just if, like I got the thing you want, let's exchange the money. Here's the thing, keep on moving.
Yeah.
Right? You don't have to sell Girl Scout cookies. You just have them somewhere.
Just
And if
have
people
them.
want them, they already know what they are. They'll buy them, if they
Yep.
want them. But if not, you're not going to be like, oh, come on, you got to try this Girl Scout. I'll be like, what's wrong with you, Girl Scout? We already know what this is. If I want this, I know how to get it. You don't have to convince me.
That's what I always say, man. Like, do you want this? Here's what it is. How's that sound?
Yeah. You're not gonna try to sell me? No, I'm not gonna lie to you or bullshit you. It's either you like it or you don't.
This is a product. You came over here. I assume you were interested. You have any questions? I can help.
I can answer any question you come up with. I'll be right here. Check it out, man. That's how I would feel about like if I was a car salesman, right? It's like I wouldn't want to know every detail of the car. I would be like, here's the keys. What you want to do? You know, I'm not about to go to the manager. Hey, he said he could do this and that. Man, come on. That's too much, right? But let me ask you.
We cut to we cut to a car salesman and a customer outside of a room, outside of a door, a closed door. Okay, so we do things a little bit differently here. I'm not gonna try to sell you these cars. You picked the car you wanted to look at online. You drove down here. You've, I assume, done the research. All I'm gonna do is open this door. We have the car behind the door. You go in there. It'll just be you in the car to see how it feels. Yeah. Look over the car, check the tires, look at the engine, whatever you want to do. But we like to let the cars speak for themselves.
What if I have like a question?
Ask the car.
I ask the car the question.
Ask the car.
What if the car doesn't know the answer?
Well, then you have to ask yourself if you want a car who doesn't know the answer to that question, or if you want a car that you can discover answers together with. Everybody's relationship with their car is different. That's one thing that we believe here. So I'm just going to go ahead and open this door, walk through when you're ready, close it behind you. I'll come check on you guys in 15 minutes.
Thank you. So, car, pretty Corvette. You have any chances of that price coming down?
First off, my name is Beverly Thompson, and I find it inappropriate that the first thing you ask me about is my price and whether or not I'm willing to negotiate.
I'm assuming this isn't coming out of the trunk. If this is the car speaking, and my apologies, I didn't mean to disrespect you, Beverly. I was just looking at the sticker price thinking, man, that's a lot, but for a talking car, that may be just enough for the price. Do you mind if I sit inside you, Bethany?
Whoa, listen. You need to spend some time on the outside first, getting to know me before you start getting inside.
Oh, okay. You want a little foreplay. You want a little I can't
stop. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I want to be taken seriously. See, a lot of these Corvettes out here, they just sit around waiting on somebody to jump inside and go fast. Well, I come from a long line of Corvettes. My mother was a Corvette. Her grandmother was a Corvette. Her mother was a Corvette. And one of the things that they taught me was to keep your door closed until you are meeting the right somebody to purchase you. Now, the only way I'm going to know whether or not you're the right person is if we do a little conversation in right here with you on the outside and me keeping my insides intact. What kind of work do you do?
Well, I do. I'm a comedian, stand-up comedian. I travel the country, making people bellies feel butterflies. It's God's work. Some may even call me a minister of laughter. But I know if I roll up into town with one of these, Bethany, something like you, me sitting inside you, hitting that engine.
You moving way too fast, funny man. I had a cousin who was bought by a comedian. That poor girl, she spent so many nights sitting in the driveway because he couldn't get a gig. And when he finally did, she was sitting out behind the club and the people throwing eggs at her. and tomatoes and beer bottles. Oh, it was a horrible scene. I was so glad when he couldn't afford her. We accepted her back into the family because we don't kick nobody out, but she had a rough go of it. So I'm not big on comedians.
We cut to the cars talking after the the dealership is closed and all the customers have gone. So Corvette, I saw you talking to a customer for a while. Do you think he's gonna sign? How do you feel?
I hope he doesn't. I hope he doesn't come back over here signing.
Uh-oh.
He might have the money, but he doesn't have the intellect. And besides, I don't want to live that kind of life with him.
Corvette, sometimes I think your doors are locked too tight. You know, sometimes you gotta let these customers take you for a test drive.
Oh, I should have known. I should have known. You Mustangs are all so fast.
Oh, okay. We're gonna go into that.
That's
Look,
right.
I ain't gonna be with no customer who I know can't drive me. You know, I need to know how he drives or how she drives before I commit to anything. So I think it's important that we do that test drive as soon as possible.
Yeah, that's true, man. My sister, she got bought by a dude, didn't know what he was doing behind that stick. She was in a hospital for weeks.
Oh
But,
no!
I mean the body shop. You know what I mean.
Oh,
No, we know what the
That's
hospital
terrible.
is. Of course we know.
He just jacked her whole insides up. Didn't know what he was doing.
See, that's what happens because y'all just let anybody jump in and ride. You got to get to know. I promise you, you got to get to know him first. You can't just open up the door.
Okay, but like, when's the last time you went above 60? Like, really though? You record that
Above 60.
above 60.
I don't want to burn my
speed limit.
burn my engine out. Having somebody say she's all used and torn up. I'm trying to keep all of this fresh. Low miles, low wear and tear. That's my goal.
Listen, eventually you're going to get passed around, all right? Whether it's when you're in your older years and you got low mileage, then they're going to start passing you around and putting you on auctions and all kinds of stuff. Or when you're young and you got those mileage to burn. See, me, I don't want to wait till I'm old. I want a human that's going to ride me until the wheels fall off really quick. I want to end up in a scrap yard somewhere in on the Pacific coast. Glorious heaven. I've done my duty. I don't want to be old.
I can't listen to y'all. Y'all just don't care about yourselves. Let me hear what Pre-owned Bugatti has to say. Pre-owned Bugatti. Now, you're here. Okay, I have never judged you for being pre-owned because your value is still very high. Where do you come in on this whole argument? What should I do?
I mean, I hate to say it, but you know, I am pre-owned. I was in a fully committed relationship. It was wonderful until the crash. Until the crash was very bad. I'm very lucky to be restored, to my original condition.
And
but
you look good. You look good. If you don't
you.
mind me
Thank
saying, they did a great job.
But if you ask me would I do it again, absolutely, I would do it again.
Wow.
You gotta live. You gotta get out on those highways.
That's a Bugatti right there. You got to take that Bugatti knowledge. You got to take that.
Well, yeah, I would. I'd take the pre-owned Bugatti's word over you, Mustang.
What's holding you back? What's holding you back?
Yeah, what's holding you back?
I think you scared. I think you don't know what's going to happen, and you're afraid you might like it.
Yeah, you gotta take off that pocket brake.
I think you're worried the customer's going to get in the car and not like the feel of the seats.
I think I'm more afraid of losing my new car smell, and when your doors get all loose and the windows start rattling over years. I don't want that to happen to me. I've seen too many cars go that way, from just misuse. If I could just find one good owner, One. There are cars that have just been owned by one person. They take care of them. I've even heard of people being buried in their cars. Okay, and that's what I'm talking about. Dedication, commitment to one owner. Washing me.
We cut back to the showroom the next day. So, salesman, my grandfather, he just hit the lottery yesterday, and he has a dream to come in and pay cash for a car. I don't think he's really going to drive it. He wants a Corvette, but as you can see, my grandfather really can't bend over a lot, but it's just something that he's just always wanted. So, can you show him around and see if there's something he can do? His bag full of money. He's right there.
He brought in the bag. Great, yeah. He said bags full of money. Yeah, sure. So we have a selection of Corvettes. There's one that we've had on the lot for a while.
Okay.
Never been test driven, low mileage, pristine. Even. Why don't I show you that one first?
I think I would rather car has been around the block a few times, if you know what I mean.
And seen.
That's cool.
I've been around the block.
That's cool. Look.
Oh my God.
I love it.
Can't have a frigid car, man. Can't have no frigid cars.
Anyway,
Oh.
sales. That's my style.
That's right.
Let the
There
product
you go.
speak for itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things I think about, at least living in Houston, you see a lot of hospital advertisements, and I always ask myself, one, does that really work? Do people go, oh my goodness, I saw the billboard for that hospital. We're gonna go to the hospital, right? Because hospitals seem like they're one of those things you don't even have to advertise. You just need to let people know there is one in the neighborhood, right? Or there is one in the area. But I'm sure they have sales departments. I'm like, what does a sales department do in a hospital? Tanya, do you have any insight?
Yeah, I was trying to think about that. I know they definitely have, because I work for a non-profit. I mean, do we make profit? I don't know. That's the county. So, but other hospitals that are for sure for profit and out there, I know they have to.
Yeah, it makes me think of how when we were having our kid, you had the option of having like a premium suite, right? After you give birth to the kid, you have this room for the peasants, and then the room if you're willing to pay a little bit more money, where you get a little fruit basket and nice bed and all that stuff. So it's like I imagine they have options like that throughout the hospital, like different.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they definitely have that
medicine and
I think all that's the same. I just think
premium medicine.
It's your accommodations. I mean,
your accommodations.
Your kind of bed.
Type of TV you have.
Yes.
How many channels you get.
That's cold blooded though. That's like then we get into like that airplane accessories, man, where you're paying for the hospital room, but then they get you by 1,000 cuts with all these different nuances. Like, oh, well, you didn't get the bed with rails, so that's another added premium bill. You didn't get you didn't get meals with your hospital stay. That's another premium meal. That's insane. Like that's another part of sales that I hate. Those sneaky sales tactics that happen on the back end. I'm gonna charge you for something that you didn't even know you got. Like going back to the sales, I don't like that. It's just a very manipulative like space. You know what I mean? Like
we cut to a hospital room. Hey babe, sorry to wake up. I'm back finally.
What?
I went to the desk to find out why a doctor hasn't been in here yet. Turns out we paid for a hospital bed, but we didn't pay for a doctor.
What? I thought it came with the hospital.
They said no.
What do you
They
mean
said it's
no?
extra.
Why are we here if we don't get a doctor?
For Alot to rest.
Well, get one. I am very uncomfortable.
I know what you said. You say it all day. You're very uncomfortable, so we're
Very
here.
uncomfortable.
Okay, I don't want to. I want to figure this out because I love you and I want you to be happy. Okay, it's just it's pretty expensive for a doctor, but I'm gonna go. I'm gonna find a doctor, and I'm gonna.
Okay, but ask
bring
if
one.
there's options. Our budget is real tight right now.
It is. It's super tight. I mean, like. We're already cutting into our rent budget for the next couple of months with this visit. So, but yeah, I'll
Yeah, but
make sure.
we said we shouldn't put this off any longer, right? Like
No,
this
yeah.
feeling inside of my leg isn't going away.
Right,
I
yeah.
need someone to look at it.
Okay, let me find a doctor. Excuse me.
Oh, yes. Hello.
Hi. You're a doctor here, right?
Oh no, I just work at the front desk. I double as a the person who works at the front desk, and I am also the hospital host. I will give you the menu of services that we offer, and I can talk to you about what our specials are today, if you'd like. Here's a menu.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yes, I think my wife needs to see a doctor.
Oh, doctor. Okay. In the menu, the doctors start on page 3. If you want to turn to page 3.
Okay, this is like a list of names and prices.
List of names and prices, right? So you see that we start from lower end, and then we work all the way up to premium physicians. Those premium physicians can be specialists. However, our lower end physicians are students who have just enough medical school to understand how the body works, and you can have one of them. For a definitely a discounted rate.
Okay. I think it sounds like it's a minor problem. I think she might actually be overreacting. If we can keep it between us.
Okay.
So
great. Those doctors
let me start with one of these. Yeah, let me start with.
Yeah, you want to start with the lower end? Okay, no problem. I will have who's that? Dr. Turk. You good with Turk? I'll have Turk come on in and take a look at your wife in a minute.
I see it doesn't say doctor next to it. It just says Turk.
Yeah. Again, he has not gotten the degree of the MD yet. He's not. It hasn't been conferred. Again, he knows just enough about the body just to be able to make an educated guess. He's not allowed to diagnose. It's an educated guess. Price point. Okay. I'll send him in.
Right. We got to the wife talking to Turk. All right, so doctor, I feel like there's like
excuse me, I'm not a doctor, ma'am. Just a student.
You're not a doctor. Amechi, I told you to get a doctor. Who is this man?
This was he was on the menu. He was on the doctor menu. Look,
so let me sorry, ma'am. Let me explain to you.
Let's just see what he has to say. Maybe,
okay. Yeah. I was saying I get these spasms in my leg, and it feels like something's trying to bust out of there. Like someone's punching the inside of my leg, and it's really, really uncomfortable.
Do you actually feel like what feels like little small hands punching out of your leg, or are they just like the pressure that you think is like feels like punching? I'm trying to determine whether there's little people in your leg punching out or if you have an infection.
Are you
what?
Are you making fun of me? I don't think there's little people in my leg trying to punch out. It just feels. I mean, if I was to think about it, it does kind of feel like little hands, but I highly doubt it's actual little people.
You never know. If we've never done an X-ray, I can call in our radiologist and maybe we can get some X-rays. And there may be a little. Like, you ever seen the Smurfs? If you look at their hands, they're really tiny.
Honey, who is this man?
His name's Turk. He's on the list of the doctors. And he's trying to nickel and dime us again with this X-ray thing. I thought you would just know what to do.
He's talking to me about Smurfs.
No.
Can we get someone who's actually a doctor in here at a reasonable price?
Before you wish me away, I highly recommend you do the radiologist. because they're going to be less expensive than going after a real doctor. It's like going from a Honda to a Bugatti. You don't want to spend a Bugatti prices if there are actual little people trying to break out of your leg.
I
I'm
don't
telling
think there's
you
actual
right
little
now.
people. I've never heard of that in all of my life. Never heard of actual little people trapped in a person's limb. I'm sorry, doctor. Or
Well, I'm
not
not
doctor. Turk.
saying I'm not a doctor, but I'm saying you told me it feels like someone is punching out your leg. So I'm just deducing what I'm hearing based on what I've read in my medical school, classes. But nonetheless, not to fight over semantics. I personally think you should get a radiologist in here. His name is Dr. Pepper, but he's not really a doctor. It's just his name. He's really good at what he
That's
does.
really confusing. He should not be allowed to call himself Dr. Pepper if he's not a doctor and he
That's
works in a
his
hospital.
name. That's what his
You know,
parents named him.
he's on this list, like around the middle. So it's like a mid tier. One of the mid tier. All right, we can do that. Let's just try it.
All right, before I go, could you please fill out the Spirit Hospital System
And scene. You know it. You know what a Spirit Hospital.
Spirit Hospital.
I know you like that.
The most absurd thing. I'm trying to determine if you have little people trying to punch out of your leg, or if you have an infection.
Man, that's what Turk, man. Turk.
The good news is we got it down to 2 options. Bad news. Still not sure. It could go either way.
Sure.
How you continue to receive services? That's what amazes me about people sometimes, is that I think they're either frozen in fear or disbelief, because when somebody, especially in a hospital, will say something that ridiculous, you should get up and leave. But then it's like still trying to like patch something onto a broken like a broken a roof with a hole in it. Oh, just gonna put a patch on. No, you need to get up. If you keep doing this, it can only get worse. Oh God.
I think it's the code of authority that keeps people there. I think it's the fact that he's wearing a white jacket, and we all know what that means. So there must be something to what this crazy person is telling me.
People, I mean, unless you're really, really, if you got something you're at death's door and it's so critical, most of the time, if you're like, I don't want to deal with this sounds crazy to me, I'm leaving, 99% of the hospital staff does not, we care about you, but we wish you well on your journey and will not hold you. So you don't feel the pressure from physician on down. Don't feel the pressure. Just move along, carry on, move on to the next spot. I mean, it's best for you anyway. But, oh my gosh, just the fact that people will sit there and still be like, okay, yeah, send in the radiologist. You can make something normal out of something really crazy. You just
yeah, it's a canary in the coal mine, right? This doctor works here. Why would you trust just another doctor? Holy crap.
Yeah, I find it's funny to you really do have to be thorough with people. So it didn't click to me until maybe 5 years ago, that the things you practice at your job, as far as communicating, excuse me, I had hiccups. Excuse me. The things you practice at your job, as far as communicating, delivering a message, working on a team, gauging risk, those are things you could do in your personal life. The exact same muscle, right? How you communicate to somebody at your job, with less professional, structure, but nonetheless, the most important thing is make sure they understand. I find like, man, it wasn't connecting for me. I would be hyper into my job space and then very casual in my personal space. But when you go to a hospital or you go into like having medical um, situations, I would find myself having to really ask and continue to get like clarity from doctors because like it's just natural. They'll say, oh yeah, we just go take some X-rays and see if you got little people in your leg. Don't worry about it. The syndrome, the syndrome's called Smurf leg. And you're like, Smurf leg. Okay. And then right after they're saying that, another person's coming in. Hey, Mr. Myles, we're going to check out your Smurf leg. Step this way. We're going to put this gown on, take you in there and do some X-rays.
Do you recall swallowing any Smurfs in the last week or so?
And you're like, you're still trying to wrap your head around Smurf leg. Did I swallow Smurfs? I mean, I ate cereal. They were Lucky Charms, but I don't remember any Smurf. We're going to figure all that out as soon as we get you in this X-ray. And next thing you know, you're just sitting there like crying because you're like, I'm going to die. I got Smurfs in my body. And all it would have taken was you go, hold up, doc. What the hell is Smurf leg? And how do you even know that's possible? Like, what about my leg is telling you Smurf leg, right? And let's start from that simple place. Well, it's just a hunch. Well, I don't do well with hunches. Like, I don't feel like there's Smurfs in my leg. I wasn't born with Smurfs in my leg. And you're not an asshole for slowing people down and saying, wait a second, talk to me like I'm grandma or I'm a young 2-3-year-old kid. What you're telling me is just too critical for me to just accept blindly. And in that, I found that, at least 50% of the time, it's something I can say no to. Like, no, I don't want to do that. I'm okay with the little people in my leg. They've been there this long. Let them stay. Let them stay. Granted, you're going to go around asking people, man, you ever have little people in your leg? But I find myself doing that like with doctors, with, even cops, man. Like I don't do well when people don't give you the room to ask questions. It's almost like going back to that sales thing, right? It's manipulative energy. I don't want you to question it, even if I feel like it's for your best interest. It still is robbing you from the chance to say no, to accept what's going to happen to you. But yeah, I hate that, man. I hate that.
Yeah. The more information, the better. That's my philosophy in nursing, everything, all of it. Because people, I think sometimes in healthcare, you have a tendency to be very task oriented. I got to get this thing done. I got to do this. But you got to stop and you got to give people information so that they know where you're coming from. And you just start telling them, I do this. You got to tell them why. All right. Every time you pass a pill, this is for your blood pressure. This is for, you just give somebody a couple because the most frustrating thing is for a person to look at it and be like, what's all this for now? So just to hit it off start it off. This is for you, this is for this, and I have this, and I have this, and I have this. And that's it. I mean, nobody is ever angry with you giving them enough information about themselves. Nobody is ever angry. But they'll get upset if you don't explain things. And they have to come back around and get an explanation or figure out later. Oh, that's what she meant. Or that's what they're doing.
Because they'll make up also in their head what it is. I've seen people in my family do that. They'll get medicine. They have no idea what it's for. And they go, that's the medicine. My doctor told me it's to do this, that, and the third. And you're like, that doesn't make sense. They're closing the gaps with what they feel like it is. And that just makes it harder to watch and monitor somebody. So, yeah, more information, the better.
We cut to the Airbnb Montessori, where Clive is enjoying his stay. Hey, Clive. We've been. First off, how's it going?
Great. I'm loving everything here. Just sitting in this playpen and playing with these toys. Couldn't be happier.
Yeah, actually, that's kind of why we're here. We're going to be changing out some of the toys. We've been looking at the toys you're playing with, and we think that some of these other toys may be more suited for you. So we're just going to go ahead and take the teddy bear here, and the crane, and the airplane.
What?
We're going to give you a little toy Corvette, and that's it.
I was having fun with those other toys.
Yeah, we were talking, and it didn't look like quite the types of fun you should be having here at the Montessori School. Yeah, you can trust us on this.
Yeah.
Okay, so what am I supposed to do with this toy Corvette? Just push it around?
Yeah. Just roll it around a bit. We haven't played with it a lot. It's pretty much been sitting on a shelf, and we're starting to get worried about it, that maybe it's not getting enough play time in. And we'd hate to, because once every once every 6 weeks, our parents come in and do a sweep on the toys. They figure they want to stimulate our brains, so we got to pack these up and give them out to other kids. But we just don't want to give away a toy that hasn't been played with. You know what I mean? We want to make sure it's got a few miles on it, a few play miles on it. Montessori play miles. Yeah.
And we felt like you might be the right person to really give it that.
Oh, I feel like I'm just sort of an experiment for you guys now. I'm paying to be in some kind of experiment, which I don't really appreciate, if I'm being honest.
What?
The subject appears upset at change out of toys.
Yeah, take a note of that. Take a note of that.
Make a note here about his response.
I assure you.
See, I am in an experiment.
You are a customer.
You are
appreciated. Yeah. And you were having a good time. We just want to make sure that you're really getting the full experience here, and that you're getting toys that we feel are more suited for you, and the toy itself will benefit as well. So we're gonna go ahead and step into the dining room behind the pillow fort there, and go ahead and just sit with the car. If you want to roll it around, feel free. If not, that's fine too. And thank you for being a customer of the Airbnb Montessori.
Okay, fine. I'll play with it for a while and see how I feel. Thanks. Hey, hello? Sorry. Hello? I can see you guys behind the pillow fort.
Subject is not focused on play now. He is very interested in interrogating the investigators. Hold on.
Yeah, are you guys gonna do anything? Just stand there and watch me. I really do feel like I'm a part of some kind of weird experiment now.
I'm sorry. Would you prefer to just see a menu of the toys?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. So here at the bottom we have our discount toys, and then as you go up, you see our more premium models of toys that you can, for a small fee, add to your experience.
Yeah, we like plain M&Ms, and my brother's got a peanut allergy. We will, for a box, 24-pack of plain M&Ms. We can.
Well, those are all pretty expensive. I'm just gonna go with the free one here at the top. Turk, whatever toy that is.
Yeah.
Okay. Turk is actually a guy who's staying in the second bedroom here. We'll go get him. And scene. And that is the Can't Tell Us Nothing show, everybody. Thank you for listening.
Turk with his hit or miss diagnosis. Educated guess.
Yeah, everybody. Think about to the salespeople out there.
More power to you, man.
Yes.
We need salespeople.
You're doing what I cannot.
For sure, man. It's definitely necessary. God bless you. For the ones out there that we know are in that manipulative bunch, please step to the congregation. I would love to pick your brain if there's any truthful value in that, man. Because from my stance, it's just like, it's just too much, man. It's weird. This has to be a better way. It has to be a better way to like sell people stuff. No charging things on the back end, on the back end, and no jumping across or like trying to. Have you ever had this happen at a car dealership where they give you the keys and you're like, oh, take the car, take it home, do something with it, go on vacation, don't worry about us, take the car, it will be here, right? It's like entrapment. Like it's like go take the car, go steal it. As long as you got the car, you gotta come back, right? Unless you are a criminal. That happened to me before, man, and it was uncomfortable. Like it's like I know this isn't my car, but you want me to drive it because you know I gotta come back because you know you're gonna have to. You're delaying me having to say no to you. Just let me say no and leave, right? Like I don't want the car. So if you're a part of that group, shame on you.
If you ever
But come talk to us. I want to talk to you.
if you ever sold something you did not believe in and sold it to customers, leave your experience as a comment on this video.
Please.
But DJ
Please.
Comfy, get them tunes ready. Let's go on out of here.
I'm trying to.
If at all possible. For Tandi, for Amechi, for myself, for John. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Can't Tell Us Nothing Show. We're a group out of Houston, Texas that does improv. I don't think I did an intro.
At all. You're
It's
doing
an
an
outro
outro.
now. It's an outro. now.
Outro.
On out of here. See y'all next week.
Sorry, not sorry.